Hey, welcome everybody to the Tuesday 20. It is December 28th, so just a couple more days in the month. I cannot believe it is almost December. It's crazy how fast time goes by when you're old, right? My philosophy is that when I was 5 years old, it was like a year was a fifth of my life, so it took forever to get to the next Christmas type thing, right? But now it's just like 1/44 of my life, so biggie. Right? But I'm healthier now than I was when I was 5, so that's a good thing. Okay, so just a couple of announcements to get started off. If you remember back a few weeks ago, we talked about the sponsoring blitz. We only have 12 entries to date. So only 12 coaches have gone on, and I'm going to share my screen real quick to remind you guys of how to get there. So whatever coaching group you're in, you just click on the banner ad, go out to where it says plus sponsoring blitz, click on that. It will open up a Google form. Both of the sponsoring blitz playbacks are listed right there at the top of that form. And after you've watched both of those, you just fill out the form, follow the directions, and then you will be in the running for prizes. We are giving out a liberal amount, a liberal number of coach scholarships. So these will be scholarships for you to pass along to people on your team. But if your name is not on there, you will not qualify. So, and for those who make a list of 10 people and contact those 10 people, you'll receive additional entries. So make sure that you do that. The other thing, when you are in your coaching group, a lot of coaches will message us frequently, like, oh, I didn't know about this or that. Make sure that you are going to Coach Simple Systems. So in the pinned post in your coach group, it will pull up Simple Systems Doc, and right at the top, things to know this week. Add this calendar to your Google Calendar. So you just click on that AA Web's Coach Calendar, and it will pull up this screen, and right down at the bottom of the calendar, there's a plus sign. You can just add that to your Google Calendar and it will sync with your own calendar. So we try to keep that up to date. Most of the globals on our team will put team events, different events going on in different areas and stuff on that calendar. So make sure that you are adding that to your calendar so that you're not constantly texting or messaging us or Chantel or the Fullers or whoever your globals are to ask them what the heck is going on. Okay, so and then team party for anybody in the state of Utah. I know Utah's a big place, but on the Friday the 15th at 7 o'clock, we're doing our annual White Elephant party exchange. We're going to do healthy potluck, so just bring something healthy with you. It's hard to get exact numbers. We were thinking about catering, but it's so hard to get exact numbers, and we don't want to be short on food and stuff. So we're just going to do a healthy potluck. Let's see, comments. Okay, calendar's awesome. Thanks. And awesome. Heidi's having a party in Arizona. So if you're not close enough to Utah County and stuff, and you can't join us, then do something fun and healthy in your area. So, okay, without further ado,
Jared?
time. Oh, Amy?
I'm having an event on December 6th, and everyone is invited. At my home in Mapleton, 7 o'clock. We're having a mental health counselor come and talk. He's awesome. He's funny. He's entertaining. It's going to be so much fun. And also, we're having a doTERRA lady come and talk about oils and how to reduce stress through the use of oil. So it's going to be kind of a different, but I'm going to do a full presentation. It might be a little condensed, but we're going to get it all in. So it's going to be a great evening. So
awesome.
Make sure you plan on that.
Sweet. Make sure that you put that, do you have a Facebook event for it?
Yep.
Okay, make sure that it's in Coaching Corner, and then we'll grab it and put it in the other groups too.
Okay, great.
Okay. Oh, and with the sponsoring blitz, remember everybody, this Thursday night, this is the reason that we did the sponsoring blitz. We're going to identify winners and stuff on Thursday night's sponsoring webinar. We're going to do an opportunity presentation, real light on program, and then more about coaching. So make sure that you have your people on there that you've been talking to, those lists of 10 or lists of 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 or whatever. So we know you're talking to people, so make sure that they get on that so they feel the community and see what a great work we're doing. Robin Cooper's doing an event in Cache Valley. So everybody who's got events coming up, just put those in the chat thread, but also make sure they're in your coaching groups, and we'll make sure that all those get out to all the coaches. Okay, without further ado now, we're going to turn it over to Kirtley, and a lot of people have been wanting to her wisdom and her professionalism on how to get the word out during the holidays. She did an awesome video, a week ago or something like that, a couple weeks ago. So she's going to talk about that stuff. Go for it.
Okay, thanks. All right, how is everyone? I'm thinking of getting the word out can happen with two different people. People that have been like your friends for a while that you know, and people that you randomly meet, strangers. And so raise your hand if you like, what one's harder for you that you'd like to work on, and we'll focus on that first. So strangers, should I talk about strangers first, and like when you very first meet people, how to connect with them and get the word out? Raise your hand if like you think on that. Okay, the latter of just plain old getting the word out calls with people that you know. Raise your hand if that's okay. I see about 50-50. So I'll start, we'll kind of touch through them both. And I would love for you guys to think about the last person that you did a getting the word out call with, or that you've been wanting to, and what's holding you back. Or just like the last person you might have met and got their contact information so we can share ideas, okay? So let's start with strangers at first. And so when I would like to hear from you guys, actually starting now, when was the last stranger that you met that you connected with in any way? It could have been a Facebook ad or gotten their email. Think about that, and you can use your chat thread. Oh, good. Someone's already gone.
Sorry. So my little girl's in a gymnastics class, and I just kind of hang out there. It's 45 minutes. It's a long time, and I've just been talking to some of the moms there. And, you know, it's funny because I'm intentional thinking I want to mention the program to them at some point. So I just became friends, and then I invited them to my home, and one of them came to my home just for a play date. And then of course, you know, I brought up that, oh yeah, I just working on my last 10 pounds of baby weight, and it's going great. And then that just started the conversation. So I just think, you know, to become their friends and get their contact info. Oh, and the first thing I always usually say is when I meet somebody that I think is fun, oh, are you on Facebook? This girl isn't, so I was bummed. But, oh, okay, cool. Well, what's your phone number? I'd love to stay connected. Maybe we could get together sometime. And then I just kept working on it, so it's been fun.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for that idea. Liz, most of mine are at the park, somewhere that you have a minute to chat. I like that. So that's for me at the dog park. That's the childless version of meeting people. Okay, so let's hear from more people. Where's the last person that you met?
Hey, Curtly, I have one just yesterday. I set an intention to connect with 3 people a day.
Whoa, that's awesome, Kat.
I know. Well, some of them are follow-up, some of them are, it's just, I need to just do more. So yesterday, I was just in this random group in Facebook that I'm in, and a girl posted something that was kind of cool. It's like an art and photography and some other stuff. But anyway, and not important what the group is. And I was like, that's really pretty. And at first I just I clicked like, and then I scrolled, and I was like, no, I'm going to connect with this girl. So I went and looked at her profile. I found out that she lives in my hometown, and she went to Mountain View High School in Arizona. I went to Mountain View High School in Orem. And I was like, this is kind of funny. So I just said, hey, and she had liked something of mine earlier. So I said, hey, thanks for liking my post. And I just wanted to know I really enjoy your artwork. And that was it. And then she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I looked you up and I see you're from Orem. And anyway, we started chatting back and forth. And she goes, okay, so let's connect after the holidays. I want to go to lunch with you and talk about what you do. I didn't say a word. I just told her how much I enjoyed her stuff. So who knows what'll come, but I have a new friend. And I told her that. I said, thanks for connecting and making a new friend on Facebook today. That was fun.
Awesome. Okay, that's beautiful, you guys. Kat was sincere. She saw something she liked. She complimented, had a sincere conversation with them, and they didn't feel threatened at all or whatever, and they reached out to Kat. She did. So that's a perfect example. Thank you. Other people are saying park, grocery store, fitness classes. That's great. Who else wants to talk about the last one?
I will share.
Awesome.
So the Healthy Holidaying group, I shared in another health group, and I got lots of interest on it. And 2 people actually joined the Healthy Holidaying. And so I actually offered free coaching too during this group, during November. So I really got to know these people. But they used to be strangers. I didn't even have any idea. I wasn't even friends with them. Friend of them, they've done the group and now totally friends. She's not on plan, but she says this has been the best Thanksgiving of her life because she went in, she's doing everything she should. She's loved our community and our group. And so, yeah, definitely a golden contact there. I think she has lots of potential to help others too.
Okay, I love that. And I like that Amy thought of a way to connect with people and give them a reason to talk with her. And that's what is going to establish trust. You need trust for people to want to ask you what you're doing and to trust you to be their coach or to be a coach with you. And so you can't develop a relationship without talking, you guys, and without them seeing more of your life too. And so that's exactly what Amy did, is she made an excuse to get on the phone with people. So that's awesome. Okay, who else has an experience? We'll do one more and then I'll have a question for you guys. Okay, you can put it in the comments. What I would like to hear from you guys, what is like, yeah, that's so true. We need to get out of our house. And what is hard about it for you guys? Is it like, I meet a stranger and I want to connect, but I don't know what to say? Or is it just afraid of them thinking about something, like thinking you're a certain way? What's holding you back from getting the word out calls or getting the word out, like at all? So put that in the chat or talk. Okay, time holds you back. Thanksgiving and connected, good. It's been what to say. Okay, so verbiage. Anything else? Anyone else have things that are hard about it? For me, I didn't know what to say, and I was worried that they'd judge me. Kids. What do you mean, Liz? Just time? Does that go with time? What do you mean?
So what I mean is, like, at the grocery store, I could never sit and talk to somebody if my kids are with me because I just try to get in and out. It gets pretty embarrassing with too many kids, trying to chat with someone. So that's why I love, like, the park when they're off doing something and you have more one-on-one time with somebody.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, I like that. That's everyone's finding their own thing. So if your kids like are in the way for you to establish a relationship with someone, finding a place where you don't have them in the way at the park is perfect. Okay, I love that.
Or at a ball game when they're playing and you can sit on the bleachers and talk to someone. That's a great thing.
Okay, I love that.
I met one of my neighbors out at the mailbox one day. So like it can be anywhere. And he brought up, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, you know what? And I went right into my story like Amber always tells us.
Good.
Don't say you're a certified health coach. people automatically glaze over and they're like, oh. But when you tell your story, they always people love to support what we are doing and what we have achieved. And people want to reach their dreams and goals too. So always say that your story. 2 years ago, I lost weight, changed my habits, and created a healthier lifestyle. And now I get to help teach other people how to do the same thing. That easy. And then they always ask, oh yeah, how do you do that? Well, actually, give me your number and I would love to share with you.
Okay, that's perfect. Everyone follow exactly what Jess said. So it's always easy, you guys, when you first meet someone, what's excited, like the 3 basic things about health coaching. What are you excited about? What are you going to say? And who are you going to tell it to? If you don't know what you're excited about every single day, you're going to struggle with a lot of aspects of coaching. And even if you're an experienced coach, writing that down a lot so that it's in the forefront of your mind will really shape your conversations with people in a very natural way that doesn't come across as salesy, as pushy. So awesome. I love that. If you don't have a spectacular story, then that means you're living a healthy life. Well, not necessarily, because but there's always something to share, and maybe like exciting news about one of your clients or your grandma or whatever. My grandma's down 56 pounds. I'm so excited today, Okay. Yeah.
Really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also think it's really important for people that, like, if you're trying to get the word out, what's your why? Why are you getting the word out? Is it so you can grow your business, so you can be a successful health coach, so you can be an ED, so you can be whatever? Or is it really about them? Is it about the mission? And I think all of the things that people say are hard, like the verbiage or what we think people are going to think. And by the way, people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. But all of those things kind of go away when you really have a strong why of what you're doing. And why I'm getting this out is to help other people. It's not to help me. I will get mine later. But it is really having that service. It's a gift that we're giving people, not something that they do for us.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing that, Kat. And just let you guys know, that also comes with practice too. At first when I was beginning, I was desperate for clients. And I knew that if I was desperate for clients, it would come across that way and then they'd be turned off. So I was kind of stuck in a pickle, but I wanted to practice it anyways. And as I practiced, I got more calm and confident, and I could focus on that why, like Kat was saying, better, and have more of a loving approach. So calls that commission breath. Totally true. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few scenarios where you meet a stranger, and then we'll go over to what to say. So you might meet someone in a grocery store line and you have either 30 seconds, so it has to be insanely fast, or you have 3 to 5 minutes of establishing a relationship before you bring up a contact, okay? And so I was in a line at a anniversary party, and I looked down the line and there was this woman who, had probably 50 pounds to lose. And I thought, I really want to share this with her. How am I going to do this in 30 seconds? I have to be with her. So we were shaking hands down the line, and there we go. And I meet her, and I know for one thing's for sure, ask questions. And so I thought of I asked her questions about her life. And within about 30 seconds, I found out that she lost her job and she was worried about that. Okay. And so there's one thing to work on is you can ask them about their family, their recreation, their jobs, what they're doing, to look for the needs that they might have that this program can fulfill. And so in that really tiny gap of time, I asked her a question. I said, hey, Janine, I have a question I actually want to run by you. Can I grab your number really quick? And I'll give you a call sometime later. She's like, sure. It wasn't creepy at all. I was just I was interested in her. I asked for her number. Can I run a question by you later? Done. So that's a really easy way if you have just a few seconds. If it's so short, you can give them a card, but that almost never, ever works. If you don't get their information, they're never going to call you.
Hey, can I ask you what your question was that you asked her when you called her?
Yeah. I called her later. It's Janine, I've been thinking about you, and you said you lost your job. I don't know if you'd be open to exploring what I do at all. I'm a health coach, and maybe it's a good fit for you, or maybe not. And so it was health coaching. It's really easy for me, to first meet someone and then say, hey, I have a question I want to ask you. And then it turns into a health coaching question. And then she said, oh, thank you, Liz. That was it for it. That's what you talk about. I'll talk about that in a second. And then it's easy for them to say, I'm not healthy because Jeanine wasn't healthy. She goes, can I get healthy first? I'm like, yeah. So she actually became a client through that 30 seconds that I met her super fast and said, can I ask you a quick question a little bit later? So that's how that went. And so what Liz said was forward. If you don't know what to say or what to say about, then it's family, recreation, and dreams. Am I echoing? Okay, not anymore. Okay, 3 to 5 minutes in line. Say you're standing in line with someone. That's a perfect time to ask them the forward questions. And then after, ask for, there's, I think, 4 things that I always am on my mind so I can ask someone to keep in contact. Number 1, hey, I would love to stay in contact with you as a friend. Like, can I add you on Facebook? Like, you can ask them, you know, can I add you on Facebook? When I met a girl at Athleta, she was helping me try things out. I just picked up on how cheery she was and social. So I knew, like, I wanted to establish a quick relationship with her. Hey, what are you doing? Are you studying? What are you studying? Health? Okay, cool. Hey, can we be friends on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? Cool. So random, I became Facebook with a coworker, like a worker at Athleta. So you can always ask someone to be friends on Facebook. You can always say, hey, this is what happened to me. I was in line at a horse supply store, and my cashier and I just connected. Sometimes, like, you just connect with people. It's the most wonderful thing. And I go, Susan, would you mind, can I grab your number? I have a question I want to run by you later. And she goes, sure. And so that's when I called her and I did a getting the word out with her. Hey, I gave her a compliment. You seem to know a lot of people. You're super friendly. This is what I'm doing. Blah, blah, blah. Getting the word out. We'll go through that in a little bit. Could you watch out for me? Sure. And it was awesome. I actually talked to her about coaching as well. The other thing to get, like, another way to get their email or number is to invite them to something. Always have something you can invite people. You can, or something free that you can give them. So you can always give someone recipes. Even if you don't have a recipe list, you can always look, like, Google Christmas healthy recipes. You'll find 20. You can send them a few. You can invite them to a Facebook group. Usually there's always a Facebook group, or you can be making one pretty soon and say, hey, I'm about to do a health challenge. If you are, let me grab your number and I can send you information about it. So those are the big things, is, like, when I meet someone, whether it's 30 seconds, it's only awkward if you think it's awkward. So true, you guys. I used to view myself as this wimpy little health coach who was silly, but then I changed my mind and viewed myself as a professional. And that's when I started speaking with confidence and thinking, hey, you need my help and I'm here to help you. Okay, and so another example, just a lady, like, I was at Walmart and this guy was helping us make a return, and I saw a bracelet with magnets, and I asked about the bracelet. Always be curious about people. He says, oh, it's for joint pain. Okay, talk. Run, I'm about to leave. Rick, hey, I have a question. I'm a certified health coach. I'm a wellness practitioner, whatever. I would love to get your contact information and talk to you. So maybe I have some tips for you. So I like saying I might have some tips or resources for you. So people are like, oh, sure. Like, I want tips. I want resources. Okay. So there's a few thoughts right there on what to say when you first meet a stranger. If you don't have very much time to establish a connection and go through forward, F-O-R-D, just the relationship questions, then you can say, hey, I've got a question I want to run by you. Hey, I've got healthy recipes I send. Do you know anyone that wants them? Hey, you can even just say straight out, like, I'm trying to get the word out around here, and I'm wondering who you know that I could help. Okay. So now let's move on to any questions about strangers right away.
Hey, Curtly, I just have a quick something to say. So it's funny that this business is no different than any other business. I actually had a friend just last week. It's funny that this came up just barely, because she just messaged me last week, and she said, hey, I am starting a preschool in the area, and you know a ton of people. You win the popularity award or whatever, you know. It was so cute, because it was like a compliment, like, oh, you know a lot of people. I'm like, oh, that's nice, you know. And then she went on to say, like, you know, please tell people about it. I would love, you know, any referrals, whatever. And literally the exact wording that you just said about her preschool. And when I got it, I was like, oh, that's so good to know. I hear moms all the time wondering where to take their kids for preschool. And now I know, like, I have somewhere to tell them. So if anyone's in the area that wants a preschool, let me know. But it's just so funny how every business, any business uses this. It's not just us. It's just good business technique. Like, if you want to spread the word, this is how business works.
Yeah. Yep. It is so true. And that's, like, Because I used to be so nervous, you guys, like throw up nervous. Like, I'm going to quit because this is so scary and I'm dealing with stress every single day. Like, I've been there, you guys, but I'm also a fighter, and I wanted to figure out this skill. And as I was so nervous and dealing with this, I would really notice when people did exactly what Chantel did. I started having experience where people were trying to spread the word, and I thought, what am I so afraid of? This is normal being a human. Like, we're all in it together. We all have things we need to share for each other. And that's when like the nervousness started going away, thinking, I don't need to be afraid of having ulterior motives. Like, when this person asked me to spread the word about their business, I wasn't offended. I wasn't like thinking they had ulterior motives, you know? And so it really helps when people reach out to you and you see, oh, it's normal. And thanks for sharing that, Chantel. Like, this is what people do.
I'll add on to what Chantel said and what you were talking about right there. It's so funny because if a new store opens in an area, how many people have walked past an individual that, you know, let's just say, I don't know, some random cookie shop, doesn't matter. They hand out buy one, get one free coupons in front of Walmart because they opened up down the street at the strip mall right next to the Walmart, right? Is that weird? Do we like look at them and go, that was awkward. They just gave me a buy one, get one free. Oh, great. I didn't know said cookie shop was open now. And it's not even from the person who owns it. It's simply from an employee making $8 an hour passing out coupons. That is normal. So if you who own your business have passion about your business of helping people, it's even less weird that you would stand in front of somewhere and talk to somebody. You might think it's weird, but it's not weird. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, John. It is, if you are struggling with like coming off the wrong way or people thinking you're salesy, then pick another job in your head. Okay, I'm a dog groomer. That's not scary at all. That's not threatening at all. What would I seriously do to get the word out? And you guys will find you would do the exact same thing we're doing now as a cute little dog groomer. And so you'd tell people, you'd post on Facebook. Amy says, not me. But anyways, and so, okay, so let's go on to one thought too, what someone said. I'm scared of dog grooming. That's so funny. When I was in the conventions, I was talking to one of the top people. I forgot his name, but he was very young when he started. And I asked him, like, what helped you get going since you were so young? And he said, I made sure every single person I knew what I was doing. I was like, oh, I've got so much people on my phone list still that I can tell, you know, and that's like, if you're ever wondering what to do, that's a really easy thing to do.
Can I say something quick, Carly, about that? Like, Eric, we had a new gym start by our house. It's called Orange Theory or whatever. And so Eric and I have been going, and they've done a really good job. I watched them start up and get people going. But we ran into two friends of ours there that are extremely successful businessmen. I mean, these guys, billionaires probably, but they're trying to lose the same weight that they still haven't lost in the 20 years I've known them, right? And I said to Eric, I need to call. One of their wives doesn't even know what I do. I should call her and say, hey, because Eric, we know that they're there killing themselves, but they're not going to lose this weight. Like, they've been trying. Eric's like, yeah, I see that one guy at the gym. He has a personal trainer. I'm like, I know, but I thought, you know, the only thing that's holding them back is that they don't know what I do. It's not the money. It's not the time. It's that how do they know what I do if I don't share with them what I do? And so I think sometimes we worry so much about ourselves, but we don't think, well, I mean, I think every day I'm grateful for Sarah. If she hadn't shared, I would still be 50 pounds heavier than I am now. So get out of yourself and just tell people, and they won't think you're weird at all. They'll either be like, yeah, I totally want to know more, or they'll be like, huh, that's nice. And they won't think twice about if you're weird or not. They'll just move on with their life.
Yeah. You never know when people, like, I hear a lot of people say, I was praying for you. You're an answer to my prayer. And to me, you guys, it's like I'm holding a life jacket. Everywhere I go, I see people drowning and I toss it. They can hold it, they can grab onto it or not, but boy, will I be so thrilled if they grab onto it, because I'll be so grateful I tossed it. And it's not personal if they don't need it now or if they're going to try to struggle for a little bit longer. So I'm going to go just through the typical script that I use as we close up when I say to people. And so I'll kind of talk about people that I know, all right? And so I might text message them or Facebook them and say, either, hey, I have a, like straight up, I have a business question I want to ask you about. Or I might say, hey, I was wondering if I could run an idea by you and see what your opinion is. Okay, so it's just more vague, and they're like, oh, what's your idea and why do you want my opinion? And so then you set up a call with them. And if it's just a cold call where you just like randomly call them out of the blue, just say, hey, can I run an idea by you? I've been thinking about you. Like, sure, okay. And so you set up that call, and if it's just like an out of the blue call, or if it's just with a good friend, you know, like usually I want to like show them I care about them and ask about their life. And so I might call them and say, hey, I have a business question I want to run by, but first, can I ask, I would love to hear about your life. How are things going? I remember this was posted on Facebook. Tell me more about that. So, you know, you take a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to ask them about their life while they know you're going to be asking a question later, and say, okay, cool. Well, I had this question I was going to ask you. Let's see what my notes were. So you give them a compliment. I thought of you because maybe like they seem well connected. You're really well connected, like Chantel said. And I'm just trying to get out the word. You might have your story to tell, like a quick version of your story. I lost this much weight. Or you might just jump to your passion. And so if you can center everything you say on your values and your passion, people will listen. And so I would say, hey, I'm really passionate about helping people change their life and get healthy and know how to keep the weight off long term. I work with people with diabetics. I work with people getting off of blood pressure meds, cholesterol. I work with every age group. Who on your heart could benefit from what I do? So I ask a who question instead of a do you know anyone, a yes or no, because people will probably say no if you ask, like, do you know anyone? And so I say, who's on your heart that this could maybe benefit or that is coming up on your mind? And they'll think, well, my mom, and so, or my uncle. And so there's 2 types of people they'll say. It's someone they're really close to, that they have a relationship where they can say, hey, you should talk to my friend. I know you're struggling with weight. Call her. And the other person is, I would never bring up their weight. It'd be so offensive. And so I have to ask them so they can know how to refer to me. And so they say, yeah, I'm thinking about my mom. What kind of relationship do you like? Are you guys pretty open with her health? Absolutely not. Do you want me to give you some ideas on how to, I ask, first of all, would you be interested in knowing how you might connect her with me? Like, would you be interested in helping with her health? And they're like, yeah. So now they're thinking, and now they want the tips. So he goes, well, there's a few things you can do. It can naturally come up in conversation. You could say you have a friend that does this. You can email her or start a 3-way chat thread with me. And so there's a few options. Just go with them, like starting a chat thread if they're friends, coaching them through it naturally coming up, or randomly inviting them. So, hey, I'm inviting all my friends. My friend's doing a health challenge. Do you want information, or do you want, so your friends can invite them that way. Or they can send a mass email to their family and say, hey, so it doesn't look like they're targeting one person. I have a friend who's a health coach or whatever. So that's how I do that, is just through that. And then afterwards, I just send them an email that says my values and my mission and my passion, and then a before and after story. And then that's it. And then you follow up with them after that. So that's how easy it is, you guys, is just be authentic and love people, and people, like, it's important to get our message out there. So any other questions or comments from other people with verbiage or whatever?
Awesome job, Curtly. Thank you so much. It's, we talk a lot about fear as coaches. We're afraid of having that conversation with people. I love the movie We Bought a Zoo, when Matt Damon's talking to his son, and he's like, really, anything in this world only takes 15 seconds of insane courage, right? And courage is how you deal with fear. Fear doesn't, everybody feels fear. The difference between people who are highly successful and highly in action is they just have courage. They just make the decision that despite the fear that I have, and most of those fears are some unseen something, and the second you step off that ledge, you're like, what was I afraid of? Like, it happens so fast that you don't even, it's almost comical why you were afraid in the first place. So we appreciate you, Curtly. We appreciate your wisdom, your willingness to lead. Get out there and have those conversations. This is an incredible time of year where people are just naturally drawn to celebration, to events, to looking forward to a new year, making resolutions to be a little bit better, stand a little bit taller, be a little bit skinnier, right? So be there. Just as an example, you know, in 10 years of owning a financial business, I created a lot of relationships with attorneys. I never thought that I would need an attorney, right? And then that magical day, it wasn't really magical at all. I needed an attorney. And I had a whole slew to pick from. And I based my decision on who I had a relationship of respect with. So remember that every interaction you have with people are just planting those seeds. And those seeds and how we cultivate those seeds are what Doug Wood talked about in those sponsoring blitzes. That when we first start out, a lot of times it's that wow phase, and then the consistency phase, and then the respect phase. John and Kat and I were having a conversation last week about this, and we've had coaches on our teams that have been like, you know what, like you guys said that you're just not running into people this holiday that are saying, I want to wait until New Year. That's okay that you're running into that. You may not just be there yet. But a lot of us have been doing this for so long that the people that know us, we're in that respect phase. They know that we're going to do this every single year, that we've shown the consistency, and they're like, hey, Jared and Amber, John and Kat, Curtly, Liz, Chantel, they're going to be a health coach this Christmas, next Christmas, the Christmas after that, and they're just going to keep being there for me when it's time for me to make a choice, when I've really made that decision. So be there for those people that are ready to make that decision right now, and be bold and courageous and make the invitation to people. So thanks for being on again.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry to put this in the end, but if you guys really want to progress, then you have to practice and fail forward, right? If you ever write down situations that are hard for you, like how do I talk to someone in 30 seconds in this situation, and talk to your mentor and practice it with them. And that's how I did it. Was my scary situations, I would evaluate after and be like, why didn't I say something to them? What could I have said? And then practice that. And that's what will get you really moving forward if you want to conquer the skill. And you know you've conquered the skill if you are able to teach it to your coaches one day. And that was my, not necessarily conquered, but I wanted to be able to teach it to coaches one day, and I knew I couldn't if I was terrified of it. And so that was my commitment to myself. So that's
perfectly said. Perfectly said. Okay, go out and practice, you guys. Practice being awkward and fumbling through things and looking like an idiot in your own mind because no one else is really thinking about that. So let's go out and be idiots this holiday, right? No. Loving, caring, compassionate, awkward idiots. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a good week, and make sure that you're putting all those things on your calendar. And Thursday night, 7 o'clock for our opportunity webinar. Thanks, everybody.